Hey everybody, it's me, John Anthony Chihawk Soltero, and I am the anti-hero. I am here to give you kind of a rundown and a closeout of the New Mexico Comic Expo that I took place in this past weekend. I did exhibit. I had a booth. It's the first time I've ever had a booth at a convention, and while it was really, really cool, there was a few bittersweet things about it. I was supposed to share the booth with my friend Sin for a couple of different reasons. Unfortunately, she was not able to attend the event. She was not able to exhibit, and unfortunately, I was also unable to see her over the course of the weekend, which um, was one of the major drawbacks to the weekend. The whole idea was to go out, exhibit with one of my friends, and just have a really, really good time. Now, I did have a really, really good time, um, but that's just a little cloud that hangs over it. I love going out there to see my friends, and making that drive is really worth it when I get to hang out with them. I did get to see some of my friends, but not all of them. But I'm going to try to remain positive with this. It just would have been a nice addition to the trip. Now, for those of you who don't know, New Mexico Comic Expo is, I don't want to say an offshoot of Albuquerque Comic Con, but some of the individuals who were a part of Albuquerque Comic Con have formed their own convention, their own expo. And while it was smaller and held in the smaller building and not two-story venue like Albuquerque Comic Con, um, it was really quaint. Like I really enjoyed it a lot. Um, there was good flow through. Friday seemed a little bit slow, but then again, it's New Mexico and school is in session, and so there were a lot of people who probably didn't show up on Friday who showed up on Saturday and Sunday, and the movement through the weekend really, really showed. Um, some of the really cool things that I got over the weekend, I'm going to show you right now. The first and foremost is one. I've never purchased anything like this before, just because it's never really been my thing. But meeting this creator, um, her name is Jenny Ortiz, and she is Dark Design Sugar Skulls. Now, I've shown this on a couple of different Facebook and Instagram. This is a little plastic dog doll with sugar skulls painted on it. And I was really attracted to it just because Dia de los Muertos has come to mean a lot to me, learning more about it, not just through watching Coco, but um, at my work at Pima Council on Aging. One of the coordinators of one of the programs, his name is Tony Estrada, he is a big practitioner of Dia de los Muertos. And this year he was also asked to uh, build the ofrenda here in Tucson. And if you're not familiar with an ofrenda, it is um, an altar where you put pictures of your loved ones who have passed. You put offerings on it, like their favorite foods, flowers, different spices. Specifically, salt is one of the ones that is used most often. Um, for me, I tend the last 2 years to put pictures of my dogs who are no longer here. Um, the Bubbas are a big part of my life, as you know, creating a comic book universe around them. Um, so seeing this specifically, not just a sugar skull, but a dog sugar doll, really, really cool. It's also got purple on it, so that was a huge thing for me. Um, you should check her out on Instagram. It's Dark Designs Sugar Dolls, and her name is Jenny Ortiz, and she's a super awesome lady. She even created a custom Dia de los Muertos pop of Aquaman, and was able to show it and give it to Jason Momoa. And she's got a photo on her Instagram and her Facebook of that, which is really, really cool. Also, with Jason Momoa, New Mexico Comic Expo has a video of him skating around the convention center on this longboard that was given to him, custom painted and given to him by a gentleman who is also from Hawaii. And I got to talk to him a little bit. He showed me a picture, being able to present the board to Jason. And I got to talk to him a little bit about what's currently going on and what it means to stop that telescope from being placed on that specific volcano. They're not against technology or advancement or science. It's the placement specifically. It's that area, that volcano is sacred. It's part of their culture. Um, that would be like you having a very specific place that you go to, that you find peace and you find love and tranquility, and it's so much a part of who you are as a person and your family and your friends, and somebody's just like, we're going to put a McDonald's right there. Maybe you don't want a McDonald's right there. You know, you're not against McDonald's specifically, but right there it's inappropriate. Um, so it was also a really cool learning lesson for me. Like I'm seeing these videos and I'm reading things on Jason Momoa's Instagram, but hearing it from somebody who is not a celebrity, who is it's a big part of his life and his culture as well was really really cool. Um, but not to get too preachy or anything. You know, if you're watching this, you're hoping to see some of the other cool things that I got. Um, and I'm still trying to come up with a name for this guy. He's purple here in this household with all the dog toys and stuff like that. Obviously, he's not a dog toy, but we name all the dog toys. Like there's Chance, the giant dog that you've seen Grayson dragging down the hallway to put in bed and stuff. Every single toy has a name, and if it doesn't have a name, it's not for lack of trying. Maybe there's just too many of them, but we come up with different fun things. Um, Now, some of the guests that were part of the show included um, the penciler of the Punisher miniseries from the mid 1980s. His name is Mike Zeck. Sitting right next to him was John Beatty, who is the inker on the series as well. And a few months back, I picked up this Punisher Return to Big Nothing trade paperback. This is the 6 issue miniseries from the 80s, just in hardcover format with a dust jacket. And I was able to get both gentlemen to sign it. Um, for whatever reason, I didn't think to have them personalize it. Um, that's something that's not typical for me. However, this is not something that's leaving my collection. Punisher was the first character that I really started to identify with or really like and care about. Um, so it's not going anywhere. The only times I remove autographed items from my collection is two reasons. One is to donate them to a charity auction to raise money for a cause that I believe in, or to be a part of an event that I'm already a part of and I need to put in something additional. All the different events at Charlie's, I've donated various autographed items and comics throughout the years. Things I've collected, some of them for myself that I've decided, you know what, I have more autographs from that specific person, so I can go ahead and pass this on. If it brings somebody else happiness, at the same time bringing in funding for a worthwhile cause like St. Jude's, um, Emerge, um, Youth on Their Own, the Southern Arizona Community Food Bank, those are all things that are a huge, huge deal for us. Now, in addition to the Punisher graphic novel being signed by Zach and Beatty, I also got my favorite cover from that miniseries, and possibly my favorite Punisher cover of all time. It's issue 3 from the miniseries, and it is signed by both Beatty and Zach, and it's super, super huge to me to have that. Um, the writer extraordinaire Chris Claremont, who's written so many different things in comics, but most notably probably is his run on the Uncanny X-Men And probably the biggest story that he wrote during that time was the Dark Phoenix saga. I do have this Marvel Milestones, Marvel Masterworks, um, that I got him to sign, and I did remember to get him to personalize it. Um, One of the things Mr. Claremont likes to do at these events when he's signing things for people is he also includes a photograph of himself with a Wolverine statue from the Kremlin. It's the lettering on here. It actually says that it's in the Kremlin, and he autographs it as well. So like you can only get these specifically from Chris Claremont, so that you know that he is, he's signed this. This may be something that I contribute to the cause at St. Jude's for the upcoming auction in late October. Um, One of the things about this convention, something that I realized, was not just the things that I could get or the sales that I could make and the money that I was working on raising for the Bubba Files and the third issue of the Bubba Patrol and the collecting of issues 1 and 2 into one volume. Um, I started thinking about what can I do as part of this community, and what do I have available to me to be able to help out. I've been attending events at Charlie's Comic Books regularly, every single event since 2013, with the exception of 2 events that I was sick for. Um, and contributing to those events and producing a piece of artwork each time, and a lot of times contributing something from my personal collection, means a whole lot to me because my family has never had a ton of money. But we've done what we can with what we have, and a lot of what we have is time and opportunity to be able to contribute. Not that I'm a religious person anymore, but just to segue from this for a little bit. When I was really little, um, elementary school age, and we would go to church at the Newman Center down at the university. Um, I think it was once a month they would have time after Mass where they had their basement area set up to make bag lunches for Casa Maria and other soup kitchens around town. Um, and each time they would announce it, I would look at my mom, and my mom, depending on if we had to do something right after Mass, would usually say, yeah, we can go down there for like an hour and help. There was something about being a part of the community that did something positive even way back before I really fully understood the magnitude of what donating 1 hour of time to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or to bag up chips, or to take those bags, of chips and put them into other bags and make a lunch for people. There was something about that really spoke to me, and resonated with me. And it's something that I've carried with me. I know my sister has, especially in her adult life, um, done things to contribute to her various communities where she's lived. And now returning to Tucson, I told her about something I did in 2017 or 2018 on Martin Luther King Day, where instead of going on the marches and things like that, I decided to make bag lunches. I made peanut butter and honey sandwiches. I had bottles of water, and I took them down to Fourth Avenue in downtown, and I handed them out. Um, I decided to do that because I thought this is something that Dr. Martin Luther King would have approved of, and through talking to my sister between that first time I did it and when I did it this year with her, where we could stretch our budget even more, and uh, she helped in the planning and creating hygiene kits for individuals. Um, Realized that the demographic of homeless people encompasses everybody, um, all genders, all races, all religions, all creeds, all facets of the LGBTQ community. Just because somebody is homeless right now didn't mean that they didn't have a job, or they didn't have a family, or they weren't educated. It can happen to anybody. And so that's kind of my segue, and I do apologize for that. I tend to do that, but um, so that is, it's always been a part of who I am, to try to do things to help others, um, and especially loving comic books and superheroes. The sacrifice is what you do. The time you put in, the money is nice, yes, but the effort and the intent is what really matters. And so I was at New Mexico Comic Expo, and there were a number of large name creators there. And so I messaged Charlie Saturday night, and I asked him, I was just like, what's the charity that we're doing? We're raising money for at Halloween Comic Fest. And he told me it was going to be St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And I said, great. So that's a name I can take to people. And I went up to Kevin Eastman's table, and I asked them right when I got there. I said on Sunday, um, do you think Mr. Eastman would be interested in contributing, um, like an autographed book or print or something like that, so that we can help raise money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital? The two guys who were there already said, come back at 11. Um, his wife is the one who handles all charity questions, and you can talk to her, and she can, give you some information. So I came back, and I talked to her, introduced myself. I told her I'm from Tucson. I go to a comic book shop here called Charlie's Comic Books. We're going to be raising money for St. Jude's at Halloween Comic Fest, and we were asking if Kevin could contribute something for the silent auction. And she asked me, well, do you need like a piece of original art? And I said, no, it can be whatever he's able to contribute. And she said, because we've got plenty of merch here, I can get you merch right now. Um, I said that would be fantastic. She gave me three autographed books. She pulled three different prints out. She stopped the signing, and there were probably people waiting like 10, 15 minutes to get to meet Kevin, to get him to sign stuff. And she said, hey, I need you to sign these three pieces. They're going to silent auction for St. Jude's. He signed them. She gave them back to me. I've bagged them up, got them prepared for the trip back home. Thanked her. She said, here's what if you can do this, tag him in the social media posts. We have a social media person who can then spread the word about this, and hopefully that generates more interest and maybe potentially more revenue. Because there are people out there, they don't even want like an autographed comic book or print or original piece of art. Some people just like to contribute things. So we've had people who just contribute money to the cause, just because, which is amazing. I thanked her, offered to get her in contact with Charlie specifically. She said that was okay, um, just to have that, try to see if we can um, tag Kevin in future posts, which I definitely will be doing. Um, I then went to Mike Zech's table and asked him if he would be willing to contribute something towards the St. Jude's silent auction. And he has he had multiple variant covers for the current Punisher series, but he gave me two of his website's exclusive covers and signed both of them. Um, and so those are going in the auction. Those have already been delivered. So have the Eastman pieces. And then Adam Kubert, who was also at the convention, he contributed a signed sketchbook of Kubert art. And it's not just him, it's not just Adam's, it's also his brother Andy's and their father Joe's work in this sketchbook, which is pretty cool. Um, I also got to talk to Adam about how an ad I saw in 2001 for the Joe Kubert School of Comic Book Art and Graphic Design correspondence class um, pretty much changed my life at that point in time. I was working on battling cancer, at that point in time, I wasn't allowed to work just because of the fragile nature of my leg and the injuries that it could sustain. Um, so I was off of it for several months, and I saw this ad in the back of a comic. I brought it up to my mom. My mom said, "It's a good idea, but correspondence through, for art might be kind of difficult. So let's take a look at things." And then that's when I got signed up for the Art Center Design College, which is now SUVA. Um, it's also I through talking to Adam about that, he asked about my health as well. He says, "How is everything going?" And I was just like, 18 years. I'm better than ever. Um, but I just wanted you to know that specifically, was one of the things that helped change my life. Um, so he submitted something as well, which was really really awesome. Now some of these are going to be kind of harder to see, but keeping with Adam, I did have him sign two pieces for me, including the Wolverine number 75 from the Fatal Attraction story. If you can see, you can't really see, it's a little bit hard. He signed it on the hologram, which is really, really cool. And then number 88, where Wolverine fights Deadpool, and this is when his healing factor came back. Um, if you remember your history, his healing factor went kaput when Magneto ripped out the adamantium skeleton in X-Men 25. Wolverine 75 was like right after that, and there was the aftermath of how he was having to deal with it. And um, he that's when his healing factor kicked back in. It was 13 issues later when that happened. Um, my apologies. I'm a little bit sleep deprived right now. A couple of cool books that aren't signed that I got include a copy of Black Panther number 2, written and drawn, of course, by Jack Kirby. A copy of What If number 44, What If Venom had possessed the Punisher. I think I have a reprint of this, but being able to have the actual issue is kind of cool. Is actually very cool. Also, knowing that Kevin Eastman was going to be there, I picked up a B cover of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 96. Now, this is supposed to be the first full appearance of Jenica, the new Ninja Turtle, female Ninja Turtle. I was going to have Kevin Eastman sign this, but when I got to his table, he had a website retailer exclusive of number 95. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's the red 95 and the red logo. Um, this is the cameo or first appearance of Jenica. This is the super, super hot book that's out of print. It's already on to a second print, and got him to sign it. And of course, he put the little turtle sketch on there as well. Um, I also got to meet Don McGregor, who is the writer of a ton of Black Panther stuff. This particular issue of Jungle Action is issue 24. I got to talk to Don about working on Black Panther, and he told me um, that a lot of things about his stories were included in the movie, which is really cool because then you see your work take on a new legacy, which is pretty awesome. He got to meet Chadwick Boseman. One of the characters he created was Queen Ramonda, and he said seeing an actress the caliber of Angela Bassett portray Queen Ramonda was really remarkable for him. He also created Killmonger, and he's an old school guy, so he signed the inside of my book, the inside front page. Um, and it said there was no Killmonger before me. Like he's the one who created Eric Killmonger, so that was kind of cool. Um, Now the neat thing about these two books specifically is one of my friends here in town um, said she might have been able to go to the convention. She wasn't able to, so Saturday night or Friday night, I asked her. was like, hey, I'm at the convention. Do you want me to pick you up anything? Real personable person. She was like, no, I don't want to bother you. I said, it's not a bother. I'm here now. Like, now's the time to ask me if you want me to try to pick something up for you. And she said two names. She said Don McGregor and she said Kevin Eastman. And so I said, done. I picked up a cover of 96 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Kevin Eastman signed that to her personally. She's already got that in hand, so like I'm super happy about that. Um, and then talking to Don McGregor, he's a just like super nice guy. He said, "Tell me something about your friend," and I told him a little bit about her and how Black Panther is one of her favorite characters, and how when I asked her what she wanted me to get, his name was one of two names that she requested. And so inside, same thing, just like mine. And I got a second number 24 of Jungle Action. He signed Kaylee. Thanks for requesting me. Thanks for thinking of me, Don McGregor. So able to get something for a friend at a convention like that, and two of her favorite creators of some of her favorite characters, the Ninja Turtles and Black Panther, is really awesome. Saving the best for last. I was not looking for this. This was not on my want list by any stretch of the imagination. I never thought about it because I honestly never thought I would get the chance to own this specific book. I've been on a big Hulk kick lately, reading Immortal Hulk, tracking down all the issues, all like third, fourth, fifth printings. Um, I picked up issue one when it came out. I didn't think to continue the series. Um, Picked up two through six at a Memorial Day sale at Charlie's Comic Books. This story is amazing, and if you're not reading it, get the trade paperbacks. Go get yourself some reprints. Um, but it's a phenomenal story, and it's made me go back and get some pretty key issues of the Hulk's history. I did pick up a first Joe Fixit, which is also the first appearance of Margot Chandler. I got a first appearance of Margot Chandler as the Harpy. Um, I got the cameo of Devil Hulk and the first full appearance of Devil Hulk. Um, and that actually just came in the mail on Monday, and it was delivered to me by my mom when she brought the Bubbas back. Um, And then there's this guy right here. This is the big premiere issue from 1968 when the Hulk got his first ongoing regular series. This is the Incredible Hulk issue 102. Um, and it's a reader copy without question, but it's one of those things that it's kind of like, how many chances am I going to have to own this book? So I had to take it. I saw it on Saturday. I kicked myself for not picking it up then, but I went back first thing Sunday morning at like 9 o'clock when we were all setting up, and it was still there. So I picked it up, um, and met some really cool people. Was able to do some stuff for a friend, and also raise some money for the Bubba Files. That will be the next video that I'll be posting. Um, but definitely check out the link in the description. It is for the Bubba Files campaign. We've got 7 more days, so the online campaign is not going super well. We are raising capital in a couple of different ways, so not to worry. However, um, I will explain a little bit more in the next video, but check out the link below in the description. Share the video, share the link, um, and talk to you soon. Peace.